It sounds like a joke. It's not. We were in Vegas.
89, right? 90?
Was it that long ago?
Was that long ago?
I was going to say last week. So we were down at, well, it couldn't have been because we were at Mandalay Bay. That didn't exist in 89.
Maybe it was last week.
Yeah. And, we're going to see the show. It was an interesting act. It was an interesting show. It's kind of a... Familiar with the Flying Karamazov brothers, that juggling troupe? This was nothing like that, but
it was more like, but it wasn't water. It was a lot of fluid.
Yeah, well, it got very fluidy. How do I describe it? I guess it was performance art. There's a show off Broadway called Puppetry of the Penis, and I guess in some ways they were trying to one-up these guys. This was the Puppetry of the Scrotum, where these guys actually manipulated their testicles, and they slice up that little line that runs up the middle of the testicle that divides one sac from the other sac. They slice that up, and then they separate the two testicles apart. So you got this wide-open bloody sac. It's like a butterfly shrimp at Benihana. Now it looks like some strange sort of mouth. They have ventriloquist nut sacs.
It looked so real. It looked like it was talking.
A little bloody. They wrap the split balls to their dicks and commence some sort of sexual act. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but every one of them now sporting wood. And you know how sometimes you see the guy will juggle and he'll eat an apple? Mm-hmm. Well, they're throwing the clubs back and forth, and in between each club, they're yanked. So it's pass the club, yank the dick, pass the club, yank the dick, trying to, some sort of everybody on the cookie contest.
The amazing thing is, when they all they were yanking together.
Yeah.
And when they came, it was like a Gallagher concert. I'm glad.
You know the fountains outside the Bellagio, how they're coordinated like that? That was exactly what these guys pulled off, which was actually beautiful. I would have liked, music or something, because it was really a beautiful moment. So they go from that into the audience participation. And you went up on stage with these guys. What happened then?
I blew the guy who was hosting it for a while, and then had to juggle, which was really embarrassing for me. I'd never juggled before.
Right.
And then they brought some children out on stage.
That was sweet. This gets into like Cirque du Soleil shit now, where how they stack people on shoulders, and you get 20 people on the guy's shoulders. They had a variation on the theme where one guy lays down with, he's got a rod the size of my arm, and they balance the kid up his ass on the guy's rod. Then they jerk the kid off, they get the kid hard. Now they put another naked kid, his ass on that. You see, and they're building like a tower. It's
something you got to see.
It's phenomenal. Then, by spinning each kid in a different direction, you get this kind of thing. It was actually lovely, and it had great lighting.
They give all the kids balloons?
All the kids get balloons and a little bag. I don't know what was in the bag. The kids go off. Now the animal part came on.
For it.
And I'm trying to remember everything I saw. I saw...
donkeys, llamas.
Right, donkey, llama, camel. So I guess that theme.
Something that looked like a bison. I'm guessing. I'd never seen a bison.
Right. They had two of the white tigers from...
What was the thing? What was that big thing
that
you were rubbing? A giant animal that they brought out that you were rubbing.
Well, that wasn't an animal. That wasn't an animal.
What was it?
It wasn't an animal. And I once saw this in Ringling Brothers, where Gunther Giebel-Williams had the elephant and then the tiger on the elephant and then him on the thing. And they were riding. They would parade around the ring like that, which I thought was pretty exceptional. Now imagine a bunch of guys on top of fairly good-sized dogs. The dogs are on top of some sort of wild cats. The cats are on top of horses. The horses on top of elephants. Each individual animal was licking the balls of the animal above him while parading around the ring. I mean, Gunther Giebel on his best day never had an act.
You can get an animal
like
stand on its hind legs. I don't know how you get it to lick another animal that it doesn't want to lick.
Absolutely. And homosexuality is not huge in the animal kingdom. And these were entirely male animals. There was not one female animal up there. So I don't know if they're spraying pheromones up there before they go with this.
Tough love.
Something's going on, but it was spectacular. Please, go
Come
right
through.
ahead.
Nobody else needs to know.
That man, I don't want to say anything. No, I don't know if you get him turned around. That man had breasts. Now you have to ask questions. So... In your typical magic show, they put a guy in a box and you separate it into three sections. I saw the woman in half. These guys were actually doing it. They had buzzsaws. They're cutting the legs. They're cutting the balls. They're cutting the tits off of women. They got the animal parts going. They're sticking horse legs up a guy's ass. They got one woman with a horn coming out her ass. Hits are going on guys. Balls are going on women. It's a blood fest. I'm sure it's all done with mirrors or somehow. And the reaction in the audience was visceral. Everyone's vomiting. I saw crying. I saw shrieking. Many people passing out.
Some people gave it a standing ovation. You know what's amazing to me? As impactful as that night was, I cannot remember the name of that act. Do you remember the name?
The name of the act?
Yeah.
Absolutely. The Aristocrats.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
Good show. I got to go back with the kids. It's very weird participating with you in something like this. In most areas, I know where you're going.
I thought of all my creations, the spinning each way on the directions.
You know what's weird? When you started going nutsack, you had me at a loss right off the bat. He's cutting sacks open. I'm going. When you open with ventriloquist nutsacks, it's hard for me to get a roll going because I don't know where you're going next.
I thought somehow you were going to be far more helpful. And
in what way would I have been?
I know that left to your imagination, things happen.
That was a weird place to start.
The ball sack?
Yeah.
I went to ball sacks because
you opened with. What do you mean you went to ball sacks? You said, "Hello, I'm Jason Alexander."
When they reviewed,
slid a ball sack
when they
up, and I
reviewed
said
the tape unedited.
Most people would have closed with the ball.
You gotta.
Gilbert Gottfried. I gotta outdo Gilbert Gottfried for Christ's sake.
You never open with that. Don't you know rules?
You never open with the ball sack?
Never open up with a ball sack.
Yeah. Please go
Come
right
through,
ahead.
Right, I said ball sacks in front of a 6-year-old girl 8 times. They're not going to take my 6-year-old away from me. Bye, Robert. Daddy loves you. The Disney World thing's going to have to wait.